Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US Vice President J.D. Vance calls Prime Minister Narendra Modi, discusses ways to further deepen India-US comprehensive global strategic partnership across key areas. Iran and Oman both say deal on Hormuz is close, but not enough to open the waterway. Tehran seeks lifting of US sanctions and compensation for war damages. Fast-moving wildfire in Canada doubles in size, prompting provincial state of emergency in British Columbia as over 20,000 flee. And in sports, India's Ashmita Chaliha to face Han Jianxi of China in the summit clash of the Korea Masters today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a telephonic call on Saturday from US Vice President J.D. Vance. During the call, Prime Minister Modi and US Vice President reviewed progress in the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership. They noted the sustained momentum in the high-level engagements and reaffirmed their commitment to further strengthening cooperation in trade, defense, critical and emerging technologies, energy security and critical minerals. The leaders also exchanged views on regional and global developments of mutual interest. Prime Minister Modi warmly congratulated Vice President Vance and the Second Lady Usha Vance on the birth of their son and conveyed best wishes to the family. Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan is on a two-day visit to Andaman and Nicobar Islands. On day one of his visit, the Vice President visited the cellular jail and paid homage to freedom fighters who endured immense suffering for India's independence. He laid a wreath at the Martyrs' Column, paid tribute at Veer Savarkar's cell and visited Swatantra Jyoti, the Central Tower, Gallows and the Museum and Exhibition Gallery.
Yes, His Excellency. He just slit his throat.
The old harbour of the Andamans was renamed Port Blair.
But the country was still under foreign bondage.
The Vice President also witnessed the light and sound show at the cellular jail, depicting the heroic saga of India's freedom struggle.
Yes, His Excellency. He just slit his throat.
The old harbour of the Andamans was renamed Port Blair.
But the country...
On the second day of his visit to the Union Territory, Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan will participate in the Har Ghar Tiranga Abhiyan on Sunday by hoisting the national flag at Flag Point in Sri Vijayapuram. He will also attend the state function Tiranga concert on Vande Mataram at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Institute of Technology Auditorium. The Vice President will also visit the historic Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Island. India's Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, inaugurated the E-Samudra project in Mumbai on Saturday. The initiative is a comprehensive digital program aimed at modernizing maritime governance. During the event, the minister interacted with stakeholders on seafarer security, safety and welfare, reinforcing the government's focus on strengthening maritime operations. Sarbanand Sonowal said that the seafarers remain at the heart of India's maritime growth story and reaffirmed the government's commitment to ensuring that every seafarer is safe, respected and supported.
Seafarers का नियुक्ति का साथ-साथ उनका सेफ्टी, सिक्योरिटी और वेलफेयर इसका विशेष रूप से ख्याल रखना होगा। जब भी कोई सीफेयर्स नाविक को हम किसी जहाज में नियुक्त करते हैं, उसके बाद वो निकल जाते हैं, घर की उनकी जो भी रिश्तेदार, इनका ख्याल रखना हमारा दायित्व है। वेस्ट एशिया क्राइसिस में हमारे डीजीएमए की तरफ से जो भी कदम उठाए गए हैं आप लोगों का सहयोग से, इंडियन नेवी, कोस्ट गार्ड, सभी विदेश मंत्रालय सभी के सहयोग से आज रिपेट्रिएट करने में हम लोगों ने जो भी संख्या पार किया है, ये बड़े सराहनीय है। It is not that easy to bring back more than 4,000 seafarers to the nation safely.
Minister Sonowal also noted that India has already become the world's second largest supplier of seafarers and expressed confidence that the country is on track to become the largest supplier globally.
So now every leading maritime state in the country coming forward, developing kind of integration with Government of India and for cluster creation for shipbuilding and ship repairs. And at the same time, I want to let you know that India has become #1 nation in the ship recycling in the world.
The government on Saturday said that users will not have to pay any transaction charges for making payments through the Unified Payments Interface. In a press release, the Ministry of Finance has said that consumers making payments will not face any transaction charges. All person-to-person transactions will continue to be free of charge. As and when merchant discount rate charges are introduced, they will apply only to a limited set of merchant transactions above a certain threshold at a nominal rate far lower than debit or credit card MDRs. Vast majority of the transactions will remain free of charge for merchants on UPI. MDR, if introduced, will only be threshold-based and not blanketly levied to all. The Jharkhand Adivasi Mahotsav 2026 begins today in Ranchi. The two-day festival, organized by the state government, coincides with the International Day of the world's indigenous peoples. The cultural festival celebrates the rich heritage, arts and lifestyle of the state's 33 tribal communities.
Preparations are in the final stages for the two-day Adivasi Mahotsav, scheduled for August 9th and 10th at Morabadi ground in Ranchi. Several government departments are working together to ensure the event is organized on a grand scale. The festival will showcase Jharkhand's rich tribal heritage, offering a glimpse into its art, culture, traditions and way of life.
इस बार का आदिवासी महोत्सव 2026 9 और 10 अगस्त को रांची के मोरहाबादी मैदान में आयोजित किया जा रहा है और हम लोगों का प्रयास है कि इसमें आदिवासी जीवन दर्शन की जो झलकियां हैं वो लोगों को मूल रूप से सामने दिखें.
The festival will also bring together artists, writers and cultural groups from several states with a range of activities planned for visitors, including a drone show and film screenings.
कई राज्यों के ट्रूप्स भी इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे. एक पुस्तक प्रदर्शनी लगेगी और हमने डिफरेंट स्टेट से बुक पब्लिशर्स को आमंत्रित किया है. टॉक विद द राइटर होगा, एक फिल्म शो होगा ट्राइबल फिल्मों का. कुल मिला के जो ट्राइबल कुजीन है जो परंपरागत, उसको हम शोकेसिंग करना चाहेंगे और लोगों को एक समेकित रूप में एक ऐसे आदिवासी समाज की जो खासियतें हैं, जो विशिष्टताएं हैं, वो देखने को मिलेंगी.
The festival will begin with a traditional Jatra procession from Birsa Munda Jail Park to the main venue.
In August 1942, amid World War II, India launched the Quit India movement. Mahatma Gandhi's do or die call ignited mass resistance. Hartals, parallel governments and underground efforts shook the British rule, proving the empire could no longer hold India without consent. Here's more.
In the sweltering August of 1942, as the world bled in the flames of a global war, India rose with a single uncompromising demand: quit India.
A British prisoner. Keep your eye on the screen. You're watching India in revolt. You are seeing Gandhi's followers in futile efforts against Britain's armed authority.
On the 8th of August at Bombay's Govalia Tank Maidan, the All India Congress Committee answered Mahatma Gandhi's clarion call. Dawn of the 9th brought the iron fist of empire. What followed was not ordered from above, but surged from the streets and villages. Hartals halted cities. Students, workers and peasants filled the thoroughfares. Railway tracks were torn, telegraph lines severed, and symbols of colonial power challenged. In Balia, Tamluk and Satara, ordinary Indians raised parallel governments, proving that the will to govern themselves could not be extinguished. The British answered with bullets, lathi charges, collective fines, and in places, aerial fire. Nearly 1,000 lives were lost, tens of thousands imprisoned. The Quit India movement did not win freedom in 1942, but it tore away the last pretense that India could be ruled without her consent. It radicalized a generation, united classes and regions, and left the British with an unanswerable truth. The age of empire in India was drawing to its close. 84 years later, the echo remains. Quit India was not merely a demand of that hour. It was the final, resolute affirmation that free people will never again accept the chains of another's will. Antara Sinha for DD India.
The Indian Air Force Band will perform at the National War Memorial in New Delhi on Sunday evening to commemorate Independence Day. The display of musical patriotism aims to foster national pride through public engagement while celebrating the 150 years of the national song Vande Mataram. A team of musicians comprising of 32 airmen and 8 Agniveer Vayu, including 3 women, shall be performing at the venue. The musicians are set to take the stage with a performance that promises to be an unforgettable experience for the audience. With a repertoire of patriotic and soulful numbers, the IAF band is set to raise the patriotic spirit with an energetic performance. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India. Manipur celebrated the 9th Tang Mai festival, popularly known as the Cucumber Festival, with traditional gaiety after a 3-year gap on Saturday. Held in the Churachandpur district, the festival honors local farming traditions and the unique soft-textured hill cucumbers. As part of the festival, participants were served a traditional cucumber feast, while large quantities of cucumbers were sold to the public at subsidized rates. In Tamil Nadu, archaeologists excavating the site near Tharuvaikullam have unearthed large quantities of marine conch shells, including shells that appear to have been cut and processed for making ornaments. The discoveries point to a thriving craft industry, suggesting Patinamarudur may once have been an important center for conch processing and ornament making. In Jammu and Kashmir, high-density plantations is bringing new hope to apple farmers in Ganderbal district. People managing orchards are increasingly adopting high-density plantation techniques, reporting higher productivity, better fruit quality and improved returns as compared to traditional apple farming. Some orchard owners believe that high-density cultivation will help apples grown in Kashmir compete with premium European produce. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Abelardo de la Espriella sworn in as Colombia's new president. U.S. pledges $1 billion security assistance to Colombia. Awaiting full recovery from toe injury, top order batter Sai Sudarshan ruled out of the 2-test series against Sri Lanka. A riot of colours marked the skies in Colombo as International Kite Festival witnesses record participation.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. Iran and Oman reported on Saturday that they are very close to an agreement on a new shipping route and arrangements for the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated that the sides were very close to a deal on a temporary route while permanent technical and legal issues are resolved, noting the prior traffic separation scheme is no longer acceptable to Tehran. While Oman's foreign ministry described the negotiations as proceeding in a positive and constructive atmosphere and urged restraint to protect progress. Araghchi and other Iranian officials, including the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, stressed that any Iran-Oman understanding alone would not reopen the waterway. Reopening remains conditioned on U.S. compensation for war damages, lifting of the blockade and sanctions, release of Iranian assets, and end to threats and aggression against Iran and its regional allies. The United Arab Emirates on Saturday strongly condemned a hostile Iranian missile attack targeting an ADNOC affiliated carrier as it transited the Strait of Hormuz. No injuries were reported. In an official statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs described the assault as a flagrant violation of the UN Security Council Resolution 2817, which upholds freedom of navigation and prohibits the targeting of commercial vessels or obstruction of international maritime routes. The ministry characterized the targeting of commercial shipping and the use of strait as a tool of economic coercion or blackmail as acts of piracy by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. It constitutes a direct threat to regional stability, the security of its people, and global energy security. The UAE called on Iran to halt these unprovoked attacks immediately, commit fully to the cessation of all hostilities, and also ensure complete and unconditional reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Oman separately condemned repeated attacks on vessels in the waterway without assigning blame. An explosives-laden drone identified by Bulgarian officials as likely a Ukrainian model crashed and exploded in a sunflower field 1,000 meters from the Trans-Balkan gas pipeline, prompting Bulgaria to increase border surveillance. Kyiv, however, has denied intentionally targeting Bulgaria, citing the conflict with Russia as the cause. Bulgaria summoned the Ukrainian ambassador following the undetected incursion. Bulgarian Prime Minister Rumen Radev held a press conference after the incident, stating the investigation on the attack is still underway.
There was an incident involving a drone entering a Bulgarian airspace and exploding 100 meters inside the Bulgarian border from the direction of Romania. This took place in the immediate vicinity of Romania's compressor station, 200 meters from the former border checkpoint between Bulgaria and Romania at Kardam, and 1,000 meters from our compressor station on the Trans-Balkan gas pipeline. The noise from the drone was detected by border police in Romania, followed by a very loud explosion reported by the border police patrol at the General Toshiva Square, located in the area. The Ministry of Defense personnel are currently on the scene, working to determine the type of drone. The area has been cordoned off. There are no casualties or damage.
Turkey has urged a security pause in the Black Sea after the recent attacks on the commercial vessels. At the same time, Germany has noted a rise in drone sightings above one of its military storage sites. President Donald Trump's administration plans to provide $1 billion in security assistance to the government of Colombia's new right-wing president, Abelardo de la Espriella. An admirer of Donald Trump, who echoed many of the U.S. president's policies on the campaign trail, Abelardo used his maiden speech on Friday to promise an all-out war on drug cartels. The U.S. State Department said the security package would help him achieve our shared goals, which include fighting organized crime and illegal immigration. Trump repeatedly criticized De La Esprilla's left-wing predecessor over his approach to both. The inauguration is the latest in a wider trend of Latin American nations shifting rightwards on a backdrop of economic hardship and concerns about gang violence. Thousands of residents in British Columbia's Wine and Orchard region were ordered to evacuate on Saturday as a fast-moving wildfire in West Canada nearly doubled in size overnight. The Ball Range wildfire grew to around 9,500 hectares, forcing evacuation orders in Summerland, Peachland and nearby areas west of Okanagan Lake. The blaze has affected farms, threatened properties and disrupted power supply in some areas. Around 1,500 firefighters are deployed across British Columbia to battle more than 100 wildfires amid hot and dry conditions. Meanwhile, Canadian officials declared a state of emergency on Saturday as the fast-moving wildfire forced more than 20,000 people to evacuate overnight. Authorities said some homes have been lost, properties were damaged and residents rescued as the situation remained dangerous. Let's get you updates on from sports now. India's Ashmita Chaliha will take on Han Xianxi of China in the title clash at the Korea Masters Badminton tournament today. She entered the final after beating compatriot Rakshita Ramraj in the semi-final in the Asian city on Saturday. Chaliha's title clash will mark her maiden appearance in a BWF World Tour final. The Indian badminton player had previously exited in the semi-finals of the Macau Open in June. A win in the final will make her the fourth Indian woman to claim a singles BWF title this year after Tanvi Sharma in the Taipei Open, PV Sindhu at the Japan Open and Devika Sehwag at the Thailand Masters recorded wins. Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty are the other Indians to have won a BWF title this year, having clinched the men's doubles crown at the Singapore Badminton Open in May. Top-order batter Sai Sudarshan was ruled out of the two-test series against Sri Lanka after failing to recover from a big toe injury sustained during the India A tour of the island nation last month. Sudarshan, who scored 2 tons in the 2 A test matches, was hit during the second game against Sri Lanka A and since then has been in rehabilitation at the Centre of Excellence in Bengaluru. In his absence, Devdutt Padikkal, who scored a century in the practice game, is likely to be the new number 3 batter. The Indian team is scheduled to play the first test from August 15 in Galle and the second test in Colombo from August 23rd. Hundreds of colourful kites filled the skies over Colombo as the International Kite Festival brings together more than 1,500 Sri Lankan flyers and 80 international enthusiasts from 30 countries, promoting Sri Lanka as a vibrant tourism destination. Take a look. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.